Well, there's always a connection between original sin and any sins. Particularly, there's a connection between original sin and pride, because it was pride that sort of set the stage for the fall. You know, pride is the exaltation of self. You can become like gods. The snake in the garden said, "You don't need anybody else." That's the original sin, is you can become like God. Pride says, "I am the most important person in the world, and everybody else comes second, if not third," right? So I exalt myself beyond what I am. Now, I can do that because I do it instinctively. I can do it because I'm pumped up with false ideas. But it's very hard to let go of egocentricity. There has to be self-deception in pride because, I hate to tell people this, but you're not the center of the universe. The great Jewish theologian, Abraham Heschel, said, how do you have an I-thou relationship instead of just saying an I-it relationship? So it's a very hard thing to do, you know, and we fall back again and again because it's hard to put the other, hard to be in the place of the other, hard to think about the other's needs. But what we're really called to do is to do that in such a way that, as a Christian, God literally can be able to work through me. And so that I don't lose my identity, but that I can understand who I am and let go of these constant needs for me, me, me. Isn't it the most boring thing in the world to be with a person who's really egocentric? It's an incredibly short-circuited way to live, pride. But it affects so much of the rest. That's why usually pride is the start of the capital sins. It almost always has a part in everything else. We need to get over self-deception so that we can understand who we can really be. Otherwise, we close off all those avenues, right? I either don't believe I need to be something different, or I don't believe I can be something different. I believe on two levels. As a human being that's capable of constant growth until the moment of our death, we can be something different. And as a Christian, we are called to be something different. A sinner becomes redeemed by opening himself to the grace of God and to be able to recognize that he doesn't have enough strength on his own. That might be a foreign concept for some people, but maybe people know the second basic rule in Alcoholics Anonymous, to realize that, you know, you need some power greater than yourself. And the power greater than yourself is someone who, in Christian thought, can be able to enter into my life and even into my history and change it, so that I'm not a prisoner of my history, of my past. That we say Jesus Christ is the Lord of history, the beginning and the end. And so he can change me because of who I was into who I can be in the future. That's redemption. There's different types of pride. There's an appropriate pride, which says you should be able to understand that you can do something well, and you should be able to take pride in doing that well. Proper pride says you are worthwhile because you're known by your acts. Some of your acts are good and praiseworthy. A lot of people don't think that they're really important. And in contemporary society, especially in an industrialized or even post-industrial age, it's all too often that, you know, we're a cog in a machine and we just see ourselves as replaceable. Well, we're not.